Hello, my name's Dawn. I'm one of the physiotherapy technicians that works for the LEEP programme. Today I'm going to talk to you about the benefits of exercise. Being active, particularly when you've got a lung condition, can be quite frightening. Feelings of breathlessness make you feel anxious. When you're doing activity, you start to feel breathless, that brings on your anxiety, and so you stop doing that activity. Ultimately, you do less. When you attempt to perhaps do that activity again, you're more breathless, and this is partly because of your lung condition, but there's also an effect of muscle weakness because you've not been using your muscles, they're less efficient, and they need more oxygen and more energy, so fatigue more quickly, so you're able to do less. And it becomes a downward spiral, the cycle of inactivity. The less you do, the less you're able to do. So it's really important for us all as a population to be active. And there are definite proven benefits, particularly for people with lung conditions. So being active can help improve our strength of our breathing muscles, because when we're active, we're breathing more deeply. It can help strengthen our heart. Our heart is a muscle, and if we make our heart stronger, it will be able to pump more efficiently and pump the blood around the body and improve our circulation. It helps improve our muscle strength. We've already said that stronger muscles are more efficient and you can ultimately do more. And it can help with our bone strength as well, because we're doing lots of weight bearing exercise. It can help us to be able to resist infections because we've made you a bit stronger and a bit more efficient. We're less susceptible to those infections that we might get, or we're better able to fight them. It can help with our mood as well. It can make us feel better, reduce stress, and it can help with our overall well-being. It makes us feel better. We're doing the things that we want to do, and that's really important to us. It can also help reduce feelings of anxiety and depression. We feel better because we're doing the things that we want to do. It can reduce our breathlessness at a given level of activity. It can reduce stress. We talked about the fact that it can help with infections. It can reduce the number of days we might have to spend in hospital because we're fitter and we'll be able to better fight those infections. Because we've done some work on your balance and coordination, then it reduces that risk of you falling over and potentially breaking a bone. And it helps manage or reduce the risk of you developing further health problems. How active should you aim to be? Well, current government guidelines suggest we should be aiming to be active for at least 150 minutes a week at a moderate intensity. And I think that's the important thing here. It's about the intensity of the activity that's important. We need to do things that are going to raise our heart rate, our breathing rate, because that's how our body adapts and makes changes to our fitness. The types of activities we should be doing are things like aerobic activities, so those things that raise your heart rate, your breathing rate, make you feel a little bit warm and sweaty. So things like maybe climbing the stairs at home or going for a walk up and down your garden. And we also need to include exercises to strengthen those muscles, which we've already said is really important. So just simple things like, we don't think about it, maybe carrying your shopping if you go shopping, or doing some strengthening exercises. It's difficult, isn't it, to gauge how hard to work. Breathlessness is a normal response to exercise for any of us, but it's difficult to gauge when you've got to that moderate level. And we've got a couple of different tools that you might find useful to use. One of them is called the Ball Breathlessness Scale, and it rates the difficulty or how you feel your breathing is. And on this scale, we're looking at you to be somewhere between moderate and somewhat severe. We've also got a different scale which perhaps looks at how hard an activity is, so not necessarily so much your breathlessness, but how hard you feel you're working, and that's called the rate of perceived exertion, and that scale is somewhere we want you to work between somewhere 11 and 14, so somewhat hard is in the middle. Any activity that increases your heart rate, your breathing rate, and makes you a bit sweaty is almost certainly going to be at a moderate intensity. Another tool that some people use to gauge how they can exercise at a moderate level is to think about their favourite song, and if they can still talk and the sentence but not sing the words, then they're probably managing to be at a moderate level. It's important to say that it's about your perception of this moderate level. It's not for other people to tell you what they think is moderate. It's about your perception, and everybody's will be different. When you're doing your strengthening exercises, by the end of the session, it's important that you feel that your muscles have worked somewhat hard. How do you exercise safely? It's always really important to start gradually and slowly build up. Regardless of how easy it feels in the beginning, just take it slowly and build on it each session. You should always start with a warm-up. That helps raise your heart rate, your breathing rate, helps get you a little bit warmer and prepare your body for the fact that you're going to do a bit of exercise. At the end of the exercise session, you should always do a cool down. For the reverse reasons, it reduces your heart rate, reduces your blood pressure, your breathing rate, and lets you know that you're starting to settle down. Always make sure you've got your reliever inhaler, so your blue inhaler, and if you're prescribed it, your GTN spray to hand. You should have a chair, so should you need to sit down, you can, and make sure that you've got a good supply of water to keep yourself well hydrated. It's good to wear some comfortable clothes. You don't need anything special. Whatever you feel is comfortable to exercise in, and maybe some shoes that are non-slip. It's probably also good to check your environment to make sure that there are no rugs or things that you could potentially trip over. Reasons to stop exercising. And this isn't an exhaustive list, but these are some reasons why you may want to stop exercising. Chest pain or tightness, starting to feel dizzy, nauseous, clammy or cold, feeling increasingly wheezy, sore joints or muscle pain beyond what is normal for you. If you get any of these symptoms, stop your exercising, seek advice from either your GP, a healthcare professional, or if you feel it's an emergency, dial 999. Mix it up. Our bodies absolutely love to learn and adapt to the demands that we put on it. If we always do the same thing day after day, week in, week out, we'll maintain our fitness, but it won't improve our fitness. So do different things each day or each week. Mix it up so you're getting a good variety. When you're doing your exercises, try and think about something to include to challenge your balance and your coordination. Sometimes for strength exercises, people might do something like yoga or Tai Chi. For your aerobic exercise, you may be a dancer, so put on some music and have a dance around your front room. It's still good aerobic exercise. Is anything better than nothing? Yes, of course it is. Absolutely. Think about the amount of time that you spend watching the TV, reading, listening to music when you're sat in a chair. When you're watching the telly, use the ad breaks if you want to get up and be active. Walk to the kitchen. When you're doing your cup of tea, perhaps you could do some marching on the spot or stand up and down from the chair a couple of times. Anything, however light the activity, is better than nothing. Every single minute that you're active counts towards that weekly total. Evidence shows us that when you're not very active, that there's a 30% reduction in muscle strength if we stay in bed for up to 10 days. So when you're not very well, even though it's really hard, try and stay active. Even if all you do is get up, get yourself into your chair, you've used your muscles and it's much better for your chest. It's a good position for you to be in. Top tips. Do something you enjoy. Exercise is meant to be fun. If you like music, then do activities that have got a good beat, which means that you might be able to speed up the activity. Walk at a brisker pace, and that will help you achieve that moderate level of activity. If you can, and it's safe to do so, maybe find someone to exercise with. Get your partner or someone who lives in the house with you to join in the exercise and to motivate you. Technology is fantastic these days, and some people like these fitness apps. And if that's what's going to motivate you, great, use a fitness app. Let it tell you how you're doing and try and improve each session. The important thing is to keep making it harder. As I said before, if we do the same thing day in, day out, you'll maintain your fitness, but you won't improve your fitness. It's really difficult not to give up in the winter. The weather's not as nice, we're not so inclined to want to be able to go out on our gardens and do as much, but it's really important that you keep active during the winter, and these home exercises that you're going to be shown on this programme are a really good resource to use then. They say, don't they, use it or lose it. It's much easier to stay fit than it is to get fit. Set yourself a goal if it will help. It might be that perhaps you want to be able to walk up a flight of stairs without needing to rest halfway. So when you've achieved that goal, you can tick it off and set yourself a new one. There's nothing more satisfying than thinking that you've achieved something. And it doesn't matter how big or small that goal is, it's about something that you want to achieve. Please don't stop exercising, and please don't take your dogs for walks like this. Thank you for listening this afternoon.